area just about ready to go here at Circle City. Out to the speedway for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. 10 times around, you got to be in the top 5. You want to race your way directly into tonight's feature event. Driver on the pole comes here to Frankfort, Indiana, driving the Intact Management Group Classic Power DRC chassis number 11X. It's going to be at Jack Hoyer, bringing us to the top of the green here in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. Lining up next to him is going to be Hunter Maddox. He's out of Bedford, Indiana, driving the Auto Credit Airmaster Heating and AC, Tommy D's Windows, Doors, and more. Megacorp Logistics number 24M. Second row from the inside at Pleasant Hill, Ohio, driving the Ray Marshall Motorsports Buckeye Machine Fabricators, Simpy Water, DRC number 33M. It's going to be Matt Westfall. And for the fourth starting spot in 21, it's going to be Dason Pursley. He's out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The Apache Transport, Autostrap, Chalk, Amsoil, Beaver Stripes, RSS Industries, number 21AZ. Fifth starter in this one's going to be the Macho Man, Brady Bacon out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, the Daredevil Brewing Company, Ryder Triple X Chassis, Telstar Technologies, Davis Brothers, Fatheads, number 69. And tonight's quick qualifier going to line up to his right. It's going to be Mitchell Moles. Moles coming to us out of Raisin City, California, driving the Reinbold Underwood Motorsports, AME Electrical, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Walker Filtration, number 19AZ. Final row from the inside at Greencastle, Indiana. Driving the Baldwin Fox Racing, Fox Paving, Boer Fars, Donna DRC. Impact Racing number 5, it's going to be Cale Coons. And your final starter set to be Noah Whitehouse. He's out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driving the Doty Graphics, S&H Nerf and Bumpers, the Peterson Family, Whitehouse Power, Triple X Chassis, 00. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 of 4. As I believe Drake down trackside with an update.
Thanks, Brian. Just to kind of continue our conversation from earlier about the racetrack and how much moisture it's had in it tonight, let's consider this. We race mostly in the heat of summer here at Circle City Raceway, but if you go back and look at today, we really haven't raced in direct sunlight all that much. From the time cars hit the racetrack for dirt draft hall-ups to the end of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, there was really only about, I'd say maybe 5 minutes of on-time track or on-track time with the sun out. And let's not forget, too, it's going to get darker and darker as the year goes on, so we're going to be racing in darkness a lot more. And usually when we're rolling in heat races here at Circle City, whether with the National Sprints or the National Midget Series, again, there is also sunlight on the racetrack. We don't have that tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how much moisture really does stay in this racetrack.
Indeed, thank you very much as the Earth begins to tilt the other direction on our trip around the sun. Just flying in for the real job. Christy Bim is joining me up in the tower.
Does that mean you missed me?
Yes.
Missed my little jokes?
As jokey as they are.
Yes, very funny.
So Jack Hoyer in the number 11. We've seen him behind the wheel of his number 11 as well as Paul Hazen's number 57 throughout the course of the season. Hunter Maddox lining up next to him on that front row. Matt Westfall, Dason Percy, row number 2. Brady Bacon, Daredevil Brewing Company on the side of that machine here tonight. Mitchell Moles holds on to the track record. And oh, by the way, quick qualifier here tonight. Goes from the 6th starting spot. Gale Coons in his USAC National Sprint Car debut, and Noah Whitehouse his first start of the season. Off at turn number 4 past the NOS Energy start can. We go to green.
An excellent start for Jack Hoyer on the bottom side of the racetrack, and he's going to get ahead of Matt Westfall to lead the first lap as he heads into turn number 3 and 4.
Boy, and they were all but even as they came around to the NOS Energy start can. A good fire and a good launch for the number 11, the 33M. Matt Westfall running that second spot, following the right by the 69 of Brady Bacon up in the third right now. Dason Percy running in fourth. For the fifth spot right now, it's in the hands of the 24M of Hunter Maddox. Driver working the high side through turns 1 and 2. Didn't work out for him, though. That was the 19 AZ of Moles right now sitting outside of a transfer spot.
That's your Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifier, Mitchell Moles, who just snuck his way underneath the 24M of Hunter Maddox for that final transfer position. He was working the top side of the racetrack. Hunter Maddox gets a little bit loose and has to go up the racetrack. Mitchell Moles going to securely sit in fifth.
Not sure what happened there with Maddox. All of a sudden, that car taking a right-hand turn of the racing surface nearly falls to the back of the lineup. As up front, it continues to be Jack Hoyer leading in 11. Westfall running in second. Up into third now is going to be Dason Persley. Brady Bacon tried the high side a couple laps ago over turns 3 and 4. Still nothing there yet, though, as he loses the spot back to the 4th position. Right now, your top 5, they're on a breakaway, and the driver at the end of that train is going to be Mitchell Moles.
What an excellent run so far for Jack Hoyer, who continues to lead the way with 5 laps to go, 5 down, 5 to go halfway. In Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1, Matt Westfall sits in a pretty comfortable second ahead of Dason Persley, who's running in third, but he's got some pretty regular pressure there from Brady Bacon and Mitchell Moles.
Well, he can hold on to get it done. It'll be his first heat race win of the season. Coming to Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1, his advantage just over a second last time over Westfall. Westfall coming off the top 10 finish last Saturday night down at the Texarkana 67 Speedway. Continues to work the bottom side of the racetrack. Battle for the 4th spot. He's got her locked in, but trying to pick up one more here. Mitchell Moles all over the back bumper of the Macho Man. Last time through turns 1 and 2. Likewise this time in turns 3 and 4.
All over the rear end of the 69 of Brady Bacon. Mitchell Moles looking for any way around. Not going to push it too hard. Brady Bacon going to stay on that bottom side of the racetrack as Mitchell Moles searches. He gets a little bit loose and slides up the racetrack. Still searching for any way, and now Dason Persley ahead of Matt Westfall.
Westfall slips her off at the bottom a little bit there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Persley there to capitalize. White flag has flown. Less than a half a lap to go, and Bacon now looking to the inside of the 33. Could not quite get there fast enough as Jack Hoyer picks up his first heat race win of the season. Second goes to Dason Persley. Matt Westfall crossing in third. Brady Bacon and Mitchell Moles running out your top 5. Hunter Maddox, Noah Whitehouse, and Gale Coons unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Frankfort, Indiana, driving the Struck Finishes Claxon DRC chassis. Chris Hoyer on number 11. X-Race fans, give him a hand. Jack Hoyer. Dason Persley crossing in second. Matt Westfall in third. Brady Bacon in fourth. Mitchell Moles in fifth. Hunter Maddox in sixth. Noah Whitehouse in seventh. And Gale Coons unofficially rounding out your field in eighth.
So attention in the grandstands. If your name is William E. Smith, you need to bring your ID and go to the main ticket booth. It's cryptic. I don't know why, but I was just told William E. Smith needs to go to the main ticket booth and take your ID with you.
So take your ID down there. In the meantime, we're going to go down to Drake.
Jack Hoyer, the US 24 micro standout, a 5-time micro champion over there, collects the win in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 for the first time this season. And Jack, it seemed like the bottom lane was the place you wanted to be on the initial start. Matt Westfall, who started right behind you, was in second most of the race. So obviously a really good start from you. First off, do you think it was just because you timed it so well? And second, is there an advantage to be had to be starting on the bottom groove on the start of these heat races?
Yeah, I think so. We just burned the top off in qualifying, and the bottom's so good right now. My lackluster qualifying effort kind of put us in a bad spot, but picked up the heat race win, so we should start further towards the front now. So we'll see what we can do in this feature.
Jack Hoyer just squeaks into the invert, and that is going to help his feature event starting position dramatically, Brian and Christy. He gets the win in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1.
Indeed, and not only is it his first heat race win of the season, it's his first with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. So knocking that off of the bucket list here as we get ready to go into Ron Supply Heat Race number 2. Driving the pole, this one is out of Gilbert, Arizona. Driving the AME Electrical, Levante Windows and Doors, Stanton Spike number 19. It's going to be Hayden Reinbold. Lining up next to him, Joey Amanti out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. The JPA Masonry Newman Chevrolet Chassis, Stinger Racefields number 88J. Second row from the inside, Jayden Rogers. He's out of Worthington, Indiana. Driving the Midwest Down Service, Shane Wade Enterprises, Spec J&J Chassis number 66. And to his right, it's the madman, Robert Ballou, to Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru Factory Kane, Amy Gardner Roofing, Hinchman Indy, Deaton's Waterfront Services, number 12. Next row from the inside, you'll find Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, the Avante Windows and Doors, Premier Recycling, Apache Transport, number 3P. And for the 6th starting spot, the driver who was second quick in qualifying out of Ione, California, driver the NOS Energy Drink, Boat Foundation, Kistler Maxim, Indy Custom Stone, number 4. That is Justin Grant. And your final starter in this one set to be Travis Thompson out of Brazil, Indiana, the always heating and cooling Thompson-built DRC chassis number 7. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for Rod & Supply Heat Race number 2 of 4 with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. The Hobstadt Hustler tomorrow down at Tri-State. Part of the Hoosier Trifecta, a part of the Bubby Jones Master Going Faster, presented by Spire Sports and Entertainment. And $20,000 to win.
And as you just mentioned, another round of the NOS Energy Drink Hoosier Trifecta. 3 drivers still eligible to take home some cash out of that.
Of course, everybody getting excited here. Eldora coming up with the 4 crown. The USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship will compete both nights. You'll have all 3 USAC National divisions there on Saturday at Eldora. Tickets, prices, directions, information, you can find it on their website. And, of course, the BC39, the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway coming up as well. IMS.com is where you want to go for more information for that event. So Hayden Reinbold in the 19, Joey Manti on that front row, Rogers, Ballou, Cummins, Grant, and Thompson as we go to green.
Great start at the front of this one. Nose to tail for Hayden Reinbold and Joey Amantia as they head into turns number 1 and 2. Robert Ballou going to try to shoot that gap. Doesn't quite get it done.
Side by side, 2 rows deep into turns 3 and 4. Working the top shelf. Here comes Amantia letting the fur fly around to the front straightaway. He's going to lead on lap number 1. Reinbold back to his inside, trying to take back the top spot. The top was not there in heats number 1 and heat number 2. There it is. Amantia up into the race lead, holds on to the back straightaway. He's still got the 19 right there lurking, but is going to lose some ground as Robert Ballou now going to set his sights. Thought he was going to clip the infield tire there for a second. Narrowly missed that thing into turn number 1.
Kyle Cummins carrying a full head of steam around the top side of the racetrack lap after lap, trying to get his way around the 66 to Jaden Rogers. Might have it done down the front stretch.
Boy, Cummins, he was running about a lane higher than everybody that time through turns 3 and 4. Call it the hard line, but he's going non-wing style. Now he's going to go ahead and duck it down to the bottom side of the speedway in turns 3 and 4. Battle for the lead. The 19 of Hayden Reinbold back to the inside of the 88. Jay still not able to make his way by. As I say that, thought he was going to get it.
Both Joey Amantia and Hayden Reinbold trying to hold off the charge from the 2015 AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Champion and Robert Ballou, who sits in 3rd right now and has been applying that pressure lap after lap. Meanwhile, the battle for the transfer position is on between Jaden Rogers and Justin Grant.
Justin Grant trying to keep himself out of the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. Takes the NOS Energy Drink number 4 down to the bottom side of the speedway. The Midwest down to number 66 so far, keeping him at bay. Ballou, contact off of turn number 2. Robert Ballou going to pull a Pluto over in turn number 2, orbits it around and keeps it going, but that is the caution for him as we do have a 360 rule. Trying to sneak to the inside of the 19 and contact made.
And so that effectively erases that pass for the transfer position that Justin Grant had just made on Jaden Rogers. However, there is a caveat as Robert Ballou was in one of those transfer positions. So now both Jaden Rogers and Justin Grant sit comfortably in those transfer spots.
Just like algebra, we even the equation. 1 up, 1 down.
That's right.
Both drivers looking for the bottom line, exiting turn number 2. And unfortunately, contact right front to left rear between Reinbold and Ballou. Ballou ended up going around. He drops to the tail end of the field as the cause of the caution. Amantia leads in the 88th. The 19 running in that 2nd spot. Cummins up into 3rd now. Rogers in 4th, and Grant your top 5 as we get back after him.
Right on the gas for Joey Amantia. He goes to the top side of the racetrack, doesn't try to protect on the bottom side against Hayden Reinbold. He gets a pretty good amount of speed as Kyle Cummins continues to carry that speed on the top side of the racetrack, and he might have something for the 19.
Joey Amantia sticking back in the Hoosier State this past weekend, trying to rebuild, regroup, and maybe get a little bit more confidence here. Picked up a pair of 4th place finishes as he was in action at Bloomington and Lincoln Park, and he's showing it here in heat race competitions. Got that right rear humming on the high side with 2 to go. White flag coming this time as Reinbold continues to hold on to the 2nd position. Cummins, he was on his back bumper just a lap ago, now trailing by a few car lengths. They come around to 1 to go.
1 more lap to go. That means 1 more lap for Robert Ballou to try and get around the 4 of Justin Grant for that final transposition. He's on his heels going into turns number 1 and 2. Some cars in front of them to make it a little bit more challenging for the Madman in turns number 3 and 4.
Off at turn number 4, checker flag going to drop in this one, and Joey Amantia going to pick up Rod & Supply Heat Race number 2. Hayden Reinbold in 2nd. Kyle Cummins in 3rd. Jaden Rogers. Justin Grant holds on for the transfer spot. Robert Ballou ran everywhere he could possibly find and as hard as he possibly could. Unfortunately, comes up one spot shy, and Travis Thompson unofficially going to round out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, at Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, the JP Masonry Newman Triple X number 88J race fans, give him a hand, Joey Amantia, as we go down trackside.
Well, Brian, I imagine this is a big heat race win for a variety of reasons, but Joey, you took the weekend off last week, stuck back around the Hoosier State, had some really good runs on the local level. So first off, how important was last weekend to have those good runs on the local level to not only rebuild your confidence, but rebuild this race team after a last month or so?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, going to Bloomington and Putnamville and having 2 fourth-place runs from the back and, just getting this 88J really fast because, we've kind of been struggling with speed this year, and to go out and win the heat race like that, I think we're going to have a really good JPA Masonry 88J for this feature.
Already a big improvement from the last time he was out here at Circle City Raceway as he ended up on his lid. Tonight, so far, he's a heat race winner in Rod End Supply, heat race number 2.
Not too shabby. Third time this season, Joey Amantia picking up a heat race win. I believe here on the FloRacing broadcast, we do have a replay of what went down between the 19 and the 12. And just barely getting in and tapping that left rear. As again, to look at it here, you see Robert with a run, and looks like Reinbold, maybe he was just a tick sideways, got the car kind of settled back underneath him, and unfortunately, Robert was already there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. Hayden Reinbold just coming off of turn number 2 a little bit sideways, was getting it straightened back out, but as he was doing so, tagging the left or the right front of Robert Ballou.
So we'll add a couple of stripes out to the wall. Real quick, let's go ahead and set the lineup here in TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Todd Hobson at Klein Victoria, Australia. The Maxim Wingo Freeland Racing Engine, NBL Transport of Avon, Indiana. Innovative Slots, Divot Golf Factory number 77, going to be the pole here in heat race number 3. Next to him, Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, driving the Smith Small Engines, Trainer Racing Engine, Magnum Chassis, Troy's Lawn Care, GTCarts.com, number 16K. Third starting spot is going to be Chase Stockton out of Fort Branch, Indiana, the Bandit Ag LLC, Fisher DRC Chassis, Superior Truck and Trailer, Dayweek Meets number 5S. And for the fourth starting spot, it's going to be his teammate this weekend. That is Gunnar Setzer out of Columbus, Indiana, driven the Bandit Ag, Davis Brothers, Ted Brown Quality Paint and Body, Ripper Chassis, Fisher Power number 5G. Next row from the inside, CJ Leary. Leary coming to us out of Greenfield, Indiana, driving the Altos Power Equipment, Moy DRC Chassis, BGE Darty Motorsports number 15X. He'll go from 5th from 6th. Set to be Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor Lynch Machining, Lucas Oil Center, Eddie Gilstrap Motors number 3R. Final starter scheduled to be Sam Hines out of Westfield, Indiana, driving the Edge Rock Development, Chevrolet Power DRC Chassis. Next Level Platforms, number 71H. That'll be your lineup here for TJ Ford's heat race, number 3 of 4 with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship field assembling behind the Toyota Racing Development Pace Truck. So looking at row number 2, stock into the inside, that is the white car. To the outside, the black car, that is Setzer.
Not at all confusing.
No. Either way, that neon safety green that they have on that thing is much appreciated from the tower.
Always.
Field around to the NOS Energy start can. They will fire onto the front straightaway. Hobson in the 77 from the pole. The 16 of Burns on the outside, and I believe that one's coming back. And looks like Burns going to get called on that one. So that is going to advance. The 5S is stock into the outside of the front row. Again, even till they hit the NOS Energy start can. Burns firing about midway through turn number 4.
And seeing that, I suspected that may be the case, but I don't make the rules, so.
We don't make the rules, we don't make the calls, we just report on them. So we'll try it again here. Hobson and the Wingo Brothers racing number 77. The KO Motorsports number 5S now to his outside. Get 10 laps, top 5, move on directly into your feature event. We go to green. Stock into the outside, trying to take advantage of it. Setzer to the inside, going to hold on to the third spot here as they work into turns 3 and 4. Up front, though, it's going to be the 77 of Hobson leading the way on lap number 1.
Todd Hobson continuing to kind of stretch that out over Chase Stockton, who's going to go to the top side of the racetrack, try to generate some speed up there. Kevin Thomas Jr. following in his shoes.
Kevin Thomas is getting a good run to the back straightaway. Now going to dive it down to the bottom of the turns 3 and 4. Hobson so far able to fend off the field here Enters to the middle of one, not quite down to the bottom. Stocking with a run onto the back straightaway. Can't quite get there fast enough, though. Sticks her up to the high side over in turns at 3 and 4. Ooh, looks like problems for Leary. Saw a puff of smoke out of that number 15 for just a moment. Now going to come to a stop over in turn number 4.
Yeah, you did see that puff of smoke come out, and the car just kind of make a right-hand turn for the top side of the racetrack, and there it is.
So the steam and the smoke begin to billow out of that BGE Darty Motorsports number 15. Hard to tell on the angle if there is anything dumping out from underneath it, but nevertheless, the mechanical gremlins strike. So unfortunately, silence beneath the bonnet as they will clear the 15X from the racing surface. We'll show them the furrowed green flag this time, single file. Pass the NOS Energy start can next time by. Todd Hobson in the 77 leading. Stockin running in second. Setzer running in third. Kevin Thomas Jr. going to move up into the 4th spot, and now Harley Burns back into a transfer spot.
So that's almost certainly an engine swap for the 15X back in the pit area, but that lights a fire for Harley Burns, who was sitting outside of transfer position after having jumped that initial start here in TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Now he sits in that final transfer spot.
So single file in each other's tire tracks as they work by the NOS Energy start can. Off at turn number 4, we're back after it. Hobson again going to attack the bottom side of the speedway. Stocking with a big run onto the back straightaway. A little bit closer this time, but still not able to get up next to the 77 to carry that momentum around through turns 3 and 4. Does he have the run this time? Not quite.
Chase Stockin carrying a ton of momentum going into turns number 1 and 2. Going to try to ride the rim on the outside of the backstretch. He's going to get it done down the backstretch, this time ahead of Hobson.
Hobson coming back to his inside. It's going to be Stockin coming around to lead as we have 6 laps remaining. First 2 trips here in the month of May. Stockin with a 5th and 8th place finish. Last visit in July with an 18th place run. Caution, I believe Setzer doing a Saturn impersonation over in turns 1 and 2.
So with that 360 spin roll, that does make Stetson the caution car. He will go to the tail of this one for the final 4 laps of TJ Ford's heat race number 3.
And drivers are told during the drivers' meeting, once you start going around, once you're 180 to the field, lock it down because the caution's coming out for you. So Stockin with momentum to the outside. Goes up into the race lead. We go back to green.
Chase Stockin really hitting his stride here in the late going of TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Kevin Thomas Jr., another driver who started deep in the field as he was your 3rd fastest qualifier in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Now he sits in the 3rd position, going to try to get a run on Stockin, who gets it up 4 in the flub. Hobson has an opportunity there.
Man, thought the wall was going to be the only thing that stopped him there for a second on the high side. He's able to get it back on the racing surface. Hobson was there. Thomas was there. Neither driver able to capitalize as we've got 4 to go in this one. Stockin. Better line that time through turns 1 and 2. We saw him do that in qualifying. His first lap, he got it up there in the fluff and then came around lap number 2 with a much better time as he continues to fend off the field.
I was just thinking the same thing. So Chase Stockin, no stranger to that line, and did recover very well both times that he's done that so far tonight at Circle City Raceway. Still, like you mentioned, nobody able to capitalize on that yet.
2 to go this time for Stockin. Hobson continues to hold on to second. Kevin Thomas Jr. has used about every inch of track behind him to try to get a run in that Inferno Armor number 3. Thus far has been unsuccessful. Behind them, you've got the 5 of Gunnar Setzer trying to get by Sam Hines and make his way into the show here as we've got 1 to go. Setzer with a run onto the back straightaway. Hines takes the line away though. Checker flag going to drop in this one. Stockin going to pick up TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Hobson holds on to the 2nd spot at the line for the transfer spot. Got it. Gunnar Setzer in 5th. 0.024 seconds. Gunnar Setzer in his first career start with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship going to put it in the show. Harley Burns crossing in 4th. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 3rd. Todd Hobson in 2nd. And your winner in that one comes to you to Fort Branch, Indiana. Driven the Bandit Ag, Davis Brothers, Superior Truck and Trailer, Fisher, DRC number 5S race fans. Give him a hand. Chase Stockin. Sam Hines, CJ Leary, both going to find themselves in an Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. As Stockin brings it around to the front straightaway, he's going to catch up with Drake York.
Thank you so much, Brian. Heat race win number 6 on the season for Chase Stockin. And Chase, Hobson was making his car super wide on corner exits. So was that one of those deals where you just kind of had to trust the process that the top side would eventually give you enough momentum to get past him?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of thought the restarts would hurt us, and I think they helped us a little bit there and kind of give those guys an opportunity to mess up a little bit maybe and get a clear racetrack. So, this Bandit Ag 5S is pretty good, and we just got to get it to where we can get around the bottom of this racetrack later and kind of be able to maneuver. And it was pretty dependent on the top there. I don't know if I could have moved down and end up winning that heat race or not, but it was pretty good there around the top.
Chase Stockin collects the win in TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Brian, I was giving him a hard time today about not wearing his yellow Crocs, and he really should have, because I think that adds at least maybe 2 horsepower on the 5S, but nonetheless, he's able to get the job done.
Depends on how you wear.
Are they in sport mode?
They have to be in sport mode in order
They
to
are
count.
in sport mode.
Okay.
Can't confirm.
10 horsepower then.
But does he have the add-ons?
Does he have, what are they called?
I don't know. But
Charms? Is that what we're thinking
Well,
of?
I would call them charms, but there's a word. There's a name for them.
I'd have to look it up. I know my daughter has flamingos on hers.
I don't wear Crocs, so I don't know. Giblets? There we go.
Of course the Bacons, would
know.
Ciciana, that's the next thing you need to sell.
Oh, look, all the bacon bits have them on, so they know.
There we go. They're well-versed in the world of Crocs. CarQ Heat Race number 4. Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana. The Maddox Heating and Cooling Gressman DRC chassis number 28 going to be in the pole. This one outside of him is going to be Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Honest Abe Roofing, Pendleton Farms, Claxton DRC chassis number 2B. Next row from the inside is going to be Zach Pretorius out of Yorktown, Indiana. In the Oak Motors, Pizza King, Claxton DRC chassis, Hoosier Routes number 9Z. And for the 4th starting spot, Carson Garrett at a Littleton, Colorado. The Altos Power Equipment, Hornbeck Concrete, Lugs Lawn Care, one-way DRC chassis number 15. Shane Cottle, Kansas, Illinois driver. The Epperson Painting Incorporated, Claxton DRC chassis, Earls at number 2E, going to go from 5th from 6th. Your current points leader with the USAC Gainesville Sprint Car National Championship out of Sutter, California. The Honest Abe Roofing and MPP Express, Stanton DRC chassis number 57. That'll be Logan Seavey. Final starter here in CarQ Heat Race number 4 is going to be Chance Crum. It is in Homish, Washington. The Rudine Racing, Scott Miller Power, DRC chassis, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, number 26. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for your final heat race of the night for the USAC Gainesville Sprint Car National Championship. So getting a report from officials on Leary, and luckily not the engine.
Yeah, so that, it's hard to say. So it was a U-joint, and they'll either try to get that fixed, which is a pretty big undertaking in a short amount of time. So they're going to use every second they can get, or they would potentially go to a backup car, and that would put them at the tail of the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event.
Ciciana also giving us a little bit of information here. Do you know they're acceptable in gym class?
I do know that, actually. Yeah.
No open-toed shoes.
But Crocs.
Crocs, as long as they're in sport mode.
As long as they're in sport mode.
Speaking
Turbo.
of sport mode, pass the NOS Energy start cam. We go to green. Good side-by-side run into turns 1 and 2 on the outside. Cale Drake going to take the 2B Racing Machine up into the top spot here. Maddox going to fall to 2nd. Keeping out of the inside for Cottle. Challenge right now between himself and the 15 of Carson Garrett. 3-car fight for the 2nd spot onto the back straightaway. Garrett, clean run on the outside. You got 4 cars now all going after it here. Seavey into the mix at 57.
Both Carson Garrett and Shane Cottle trying to find a way around Brandon Maddox that last time. He threw a wrench in their plans on the prior lap, but they both get it done this time. And now Logan Seavey, the only car sitting behind the 28 who's in a transfer position. So both Carson Garrett and Shane Cottle moving along. Carson Garrett getting the better end of that deal.
Logan Seavey round to the front straightaway, narrowly getting by the 20 to Brandon Maddox. His car coming up the racetrack. The 57 right up against the concrete. They're still side by side, nearly onto the back straightaway. Up front battle for the race lead, maybe. Cale Drake has it. Carson Garrett wants to take it away. Garrett around the bottom. Cale Drake on the outside. Going to get a good run off of the cushion. Flies the front end onto the back straightaway a little bit. Now he's going to protect down to the bottom side of the speedway. Saw the 15 coming now. Going to take his line away from him as he's going to come around to quick off lap number 5.
So Carson Garrett kind of riding in that middle part of the racetrack. Shane Cottle, like Drake and I talked about during the pre-race show, right around the infield tires, trying to pick up some speed as Carson Garrett's doing some searching around. For missing last weekend at Texarkana, he's picking up quite a bit of speed, trying to hunt down the 2B of Cale Drake.
Crew having to kind of resituate, reevaluate, and rebuild a few things on the number 15. So taking some time to go in and get that done as he rides in that second spot. Cottle running at third. Seavey by himself in fourth. Now Maddox just trying to hold on to the transfer spot. He's got Crum coming after him in the 26.
Logan Seavey going to make sure every single spot for the rest of this season is important and valuable to him. As Brady Bacon begins to close that gap for the championship chase, Logan Seavey needs every point he can get.
And both drivers have been in that position of trying to hold on to win a championship. Bacon has done it multiple times. In fact, he's done it 4 times, so we'll be interested to see how it plays out as they come to the wave of the white flag. We've got 1 to go. The battle for the transfer spot still ongoing. Crum is still right there, but so far can't get it done. As your leader going to work to the bottom side of turns 3 and 4. Checker flag going to fly this time for Cale Drake in 2. Carson Garrett going to cross in second. Third going to go to Shane Cottle. Fourth going to go to Logan Seavey. Maddox is going to hold on to the final transfer spot. Crum, and it looked like Pretorius maybe problems on the final lap. Going to pull it down into the infield. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Honest Abe Roofing, Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Claxton DRC number 2B. Race fans, give him a hand. Cale Drake as we go down trackside.
Cale Drake picks up his 3rd heat race win on the season and 2nd in a row. Of course, picked up one last weekend down at Texarkana 67 Speedway. Cale, you had an interesting line the last couple laps. For a majority of the race, you were on the top side at both ends, and then the final couple laps, you dropped down towards the bottom in 3 and 4. It didn't seem like you were in massive jeopardy of losing the lead in 3 and 4, so why'd you make that decision to go to the bottom in 3 and 4 for the final couple laps?
I really couldn't attack the entry like I wanted to, and I saw Carson's nose there and just kind of saw some good grip down there, so I just kind of wanted to search around and see where our car was good at. Struggled in qualifying, just driver error, not on the gas enough, and being too easy just so. We had to get up on the wheel right there to get that heat race win, which should put us in better position tonight. I just can't thank everyone back at the trailer for working hard at it and giving me the opportunity to be out here.
Cale Drake in a good ride, as this is the team that won the September race here last year at Circle City. Different car, however. This is Yogi that Cale Drake is piloting tonight as he picks up the win in CarQ heat race number 4.
Thank you very much. That'll wrap up heat races for the USAC AMSL Sprint Car National Championship.
So all 3 of Cale Drake's career AMSL USAC National heat race victories have come in the last 3 events that he has participated in. So the last 3 races, as Drake just alluded to, picked up one over at Texarkana just last weekend. So safe to say that team is headed in the right direction, picking up some speed.
Coming up out of the micro midget ranks, and good to see him getting some good laps behind the wheel of a sprint car here. Thank you very much, Christy. As with that, we will step aside, and the midgets going to make their way out to the speedway. Before I do that, though, Brady Bacon is at his merchandise trailer. He is going to sign some autographs down there. Bring your Crocs. He might even sign those. So, again, Brady Bacon is down at his souvenir trailer signing autographs.
One, two. Hi, campers. Hey, quick break. Let you know what's going on here. Still got plenty of things happening out here at Circle City Raceway in 2024. Do want to point out that if it is open seating all the way around. Appreciate you coming out and being part of the fun here tonight. In case you're new here, we do have the restroom facilities located behind the main grandstand. Concessions open and available for you over there, cold drinks and the like. Looks like the Harley Burns trailer gave up, but we still have plenty of merchandise for you behind the main grandstand to sit back and enjoy. And it looks like Midget here is getting ready to go at it. Mr. Christian is ready to take control of the ship. And we're going to pass her on down the road.
Thank you. First of 3 heat races for the USAC Midwest Leonard Midgets presented by Performance Electronics. Performance Electronics also the presenting sponsor for heat race number 1. Here is the lineup for heat race number 1. Each heat race will be 8 laps in distance. All cars will transfer to tonight's A main. On the front row, inside of the front row out of Concord, California, it's a 10X of Robert Carson, and to his outside out of Greencastle, Indiana, and the 63 is Cale Coons. Row number 2 on the inside, in the 11T, it's Ryan Fleming, and to his outside, tonight's QuickTime qualifier out of Shelbyville, Indiana, it's the 5 of Matt Lux. Row number 3 on the inside out of Rockport, Indiana, it's the 21 of Jimmy Guidry, and to his outside out of Winchester, Indiana, it's the 2B of Tommy Bigelow. Row number 4 on the inside, out of Jasper, Indiana, it's a 97K of Nolan Kiefer. And final starter for Performance Electronics Heat Race number 1 out of Bloomington, Indiana, it's a 87 of Travis Stickles. So 8 drivers, 8 laps, all cars transferred to tonight's A main. 24 drivers signed in for competition tonight, full field of cars. Robert Carson, Cale Coons. Cale Coons, multi-time winner this year. Saw him a little bit ago in heat race number 1 with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car Series. Green flag, and leading the field into turn number 1. Looks like with the momentum on the high side is 63 of Cale Coons. Cale Coons will take the race lead. The VMS quick time qualifier, Matt Lux, from 4th to 2nd. Matt Lux will run a little bit higher on the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. Now he brings it down, look to the inside of Coons. Matt Lux. Cale Coons will, no, Matt Lux will lead lap number 1. Cale Coons second. Now Matt Lux will try to use that momentum to clear off of turn number 2. Matt Lux from 4th to the race lead. We had a lengthy conversation after qualifying. He told me he was going to take patience to win this heat race. Well, he took the lead nearly on lap number 1. Matt Lux, Cale Coons, Robert Carson in that 3rd position. Then it's Ryan Fleming in the 11T. I believe Ryan Fleming is the current Rookie of the Year points leader. Jimmy Guidry right behind him. Top 3 will go to a redraw later on tonight. The drivers who finish in the top 3 in each of their heat races will redraw for positions 1 through 9 in tonight's 25-lap A main. Starting to string out a little bit around the racetrack. It's going to be the 5 of Matt Lux who continues to lead the way. He was quick in qualifying. He's quick in the heat race. Cale Coons running second, goes up the racetrack quite a bit in turns 1 and 2, able to gather it back up. No one else even close to the 5 of Matt Lux, 2-time winner this year with wins at Eldora Speedway and Lincoln Park Speedway. That came early on in our season, back in May. White flag out. 1 lap to go for the 5 of Matt Lux. The Thriller from Manila, as Pat Sullivan calls him. Coming off of turn number 4, Matt Lux will pick up the heat race win. Cale Coons comes home second. Robert Carson third. Those 3 drivers will go to tonight's redraw. So unofficial finishing order for Performance Electronics heat race number 1. Picking up the heat race win in car number 5, it's Matt Lux. Second to the 60.